What is happening there? J Gaming Dude here, and I'm going to be talking about Girls Bravo, the first season, which is an ecchi slice of life. They came out in 2004 and about 11 episodes long, which follows Yuki Nari, the main character, who is allergic to girls and gets sort of rashes all over his body whenever he is near one. Now, he also just so happens to then get his face kicked into the bath on his way home when his childhood friend, who just so happened to be having a bath in his house for some reason, even though she lives right next door, kicks his teeth in, and he then finds himself in a completely different world where he meets this character by the name of Miharu, the pink-haired girl, and is the only girl he can interact with or even touch their skin of in any way, shape, or form without getting rashes all over him. So it kind of like leads into the sort of mystery element of like, why is it specifically her? But other people, other like women in this other world, or is pretty much just, if not mostly, women anyways, he does actually get rashes from. So why not her specifically? But yeah, so, and then like they're able to kind of swap between the world by apparently using his bath as like the catalyst of being able to transfer between the two worlds. But that doesn't get too deep into like the weeds of the plot, because it's just sort of very episodic based, sort of harem with ecchi. Ecchi is definitely a heavy genre in this particular show. Is it good ecchi? No. Is it okay ecchi? Yes. It's an okay show at best. The opening theme goes freakishly hard, but that's because that's kind of what you would expect from a show of its time. The early 2000s and late 90s going into early 2000s, you would have like normally an absolute banging song at the beginning, which goes really hard with like the the rock genre, and then be something slow and somber at the end for the ending theme. Even something like Great Teacher Onizuka, which had a good opening but had an exceptional ending, for example. In this case, Girls Bravo has an okay beginning and okay ending. It's acceptable in both places, but to be completely honest, I skipped it for the most part, so heavily very much on the skippable side as far as like themes go. So opening theme, ending theme, definitely skippable. The show itself is okay in terms of like what it's trying to do and what it is in its own genre, especially during its time. There is a second season, and I'm also making my way through that as well. As far as things that I don't like about the show, besides the main character getting his teeth kicked in all the time by pretty much women around him, is there is a character, another guy, who just tries. He's pretty much the horn dog character of the show, and he is quite possibly the most hateable character in the show. And that's because like horning on main is one thing, but this guy goes extra hard in too many different ways, and he just kind of becomes annoying to a point. So I hate him just because he is annoying and just never learns his lessons. He's almost cartoonishly like on the horny side, despite the fact that he does show some semblance of character growth at times, which I do appreciate. If nothing else, at least he gets that much, so he becomes less of a pain in the ass to kind of sit down and watch. And his sister, who is just about as psychotic but into the main character compared to everyone else just because the psychic said so, she's interesting. I wouldn't say that she's hateable. I think it's just the two characters that are hateable, which are the main character and the dude who's pretty much horny on main. But beyond that, there isn't much to dislike about the show. I can understand that it may for some get very sort of repetitive and all over the place, and especially since there are so many shows, so many slice of life shows that have the beach episode, that have the school festival episode, that have or ecchi shows that just show as much titillage as they can. Is it tasteful in the show? Yes, I would say it's tasteful for sure. And at times it can seem out of place, but other times not so much. So there is a balance there. But at the end of the day, again, very much remains tasteful. Other than that, I don't think there really is much else to say, because everything else kind of falls within whatever you would expect to see with most slice of life shows anyways, in terms of like an episodic basis for how each thing goes. Yes, there is some growth in between episodes that do carry on to the next, but that does not exist enough in the first season to even warrant a mention at all. So it's just worth kind of going in with some tepid expectations. So at the end of the day, I think I'm going to be giving this like a 6 out of 10, I think, on my anime list. I was debating between a 5 or a 6. Had that one character that I really hated not gotten some amount of actual development later on, probably would have given it a 5. But honestly, I can't hate the guy enough, especially for what he does, which kind of completely flips his character around in a way that you would never expect. So yeah, with all that said, I'm going to be chucking this in at a 6 out of 10, but let me know what you guys think about this show if you've seen it. Of course, it is available on Crunchyroll. But with all that said and done, do comment below on your thoughts on the show, the source material, or anything else in between, or anything else ecchi as well. Like the video if you liked it, subscribe to the channel because I do want my videos to go to more people, especially more fans of whether it be ecchi, slice of life, or hell, the fact that I'm even talking about a show from 2004 to begin with. But with all of that said and done, I do upload every day, so I'll see you guys tomorrow.